Recording.
Hello, my name is Matthew Broomfield, and this is my TED Talk on the history of anatomy. Hope you enjoy. Liebers Papyrus, made in 1500 BC, is a treatise noting that the heart is the center of blood supply throughout the body from every member of the body. The Egyptians that made this document seem not to know much about the function of the kidneys, but they also think that the heart is connected to other vessels that carry body fluids, blood, and semen, even though that the Egyptians do not know where saliva or sweat come from. Nomenclature methods used in the study of anatomy dates back to the Greeks. A scientist named Alcmaeon constructed a background of anatomy by using mostly dissections through animals. Alcmaeon founded the optic nerve in the tube that from the ear to the nose, which is named or termed the Eustachius tube, which is shown right here in an adult and an infant. Empedocles viewed the heart as the innate heat from previous folklore. He argued that the heart was the center of the vascular system, and pneuma, which is either the breath or soul carried within blood vessels. Mostly all medical ancient texts are contained in the Hippocrates Corpus. These texts show an understanding or a better understanding of the musculoskeletal systems and their functions, and also a better understanding of certain organs such as the kidneys. The heart, or the tricuspid valve in the heart, is featured in a treatise named On the Heart. The first recorded school of anatomy was first known to be in Alexandria from the 300 to the 2nd century BC. Ptolemy I Soter was the first to be allowed to examine and dissect dead bodies for the main purpose of learning how the human body works. The last major anatomist of ancient times named was Galen. Galen compiled much of the previous knowledge by previous writers and advanced them in inquiry by performing vivisections on animals. Since the lack of readiness of human specimens were around, he had to use animal specimens, and most people back then compared animal specimens and compared them to human bodies. Leonardo da Vinci was trained by Andrea del Verrocchio. In 1489, Leonardo da Vinci in his drawings depicted the human body. In his knowledge of and understanding of anatomy through his dissections, Leonardo created many sketches on skeletal structures of the human body. Leonardo da Vinci dissected over 30 bodies until he was forced to stop under the order of Pope Leo X. The study of anatomy flourished in the 17th and 18th centuries. During these times, only certified anatomists were allowed to perform dissections. Most of the city councilors in cities like London and Copenhagen charged admissions for these dissections in public, and it was often like a circus act for scholars. And most of these cities also had royal anatomists tied to the local government. Nicolaas Tulp, the mayor for Amsterdam for 3 terms, often performed dissections in public, even though it was risky and basically unpredictable because of the amount of fresh bodies. The city made it illegal for people to attend dissections. Anatomical theaters was a popular form of teaching in the early 16th century. The University of Padua was one of the first and most famous anatomical theaters, created in 1594. As a result of this made Italy the center of dissections. People from all over came to see dissections in Italy, and professors that taught the dissections rarely dissected the bodies, as they had hired help cutting the bodies while they sat above teaching. Also now, professors at some colleges use prosections, which is where the professor does the dissection itself and explains the dissections, so the students won't have to dissect the bodies by themselves, which enables the students to see more than one body at a time. Now I have a little short video on dissections and anatomy. It's kind of like a prosection, so I'm going to show you it real quick.
So I'm going to get started. And then just going down the side of the foot.
Now that skin, I think, was pretty tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's many layers thick, and a lot of these layers are actually dead skin cells. And the body heaps it all up simply to thicken it up so that it can act as a shock-absorbing pad.
Oh, yeah, the skin's coming right off the heel. Now, I have to confess, I'm feeling slightly queasy about this, and not in a severe way, but it's quite a disturbing view. That is the first time I've seen inside the foot. Look at that huge amount of fat there, just massively.
That's fat. That's packaged in a very special form to maximize the shock-absorbing capabilities of the heel.
How is it arranged here? Because it looks like a a sponge. Is that
Yeah,
fair to say?
well, it is anything but a sponge because its strength is phenomenal. It's almost like a hydraulic pad where you've got these fat packets arranged in little discrete sections with little fibrous walls. So they work in a fashion so that your weight is distributed quite evenly. So it's not one big lump. It's not like a cushion. It's more like bubble wrap, where you've got multiple sections of fat, so it's able to dissipate shock and forces that go through it in a much more efficient fashion.
So in this first stage of our dissection, we've already seen two vital parts of the foot. The tough outer skin and a thick layer of fat beneath that combine to act as a shock absorber. But our skin has another important function. To see what that is, there's no way around it. I'm going to have to bare my own feet.
My name is Matthew Brunford, and that concludes my TED Talk.